you style. Let's get things started with your national days of the week. Monday, March the 9th is National Meatball Day. I assume as soon as you hear the word meatball, you think of a ball of meat. And it's funny for me because for a very long time I have known a Navy SEAL whose nickname was Meatball. And I've never looked at a ball of meat the same way because of this person I know named Meatball. He's a meatball. This is a ball of meat. But for the course of this conversation, they're synonymous with one another. When you go to a restaurant and you ask the waiter something as simple as, what's in your meatballs? And the waiter responds sardonically. Sardonically is better than sarcastically, right? Because it's sardonic. I'll have to check that later. I believe sardonic is a more divisive version of sarcastic. Like, you're not just being you're being a real when you're sardonic. James, you act like my assistant producer. Check that out. Let's see if I'm correct. You go into a place and you order a meatball. You ask what's in the meatballs. The guy says very sardonically, meat. That's going to go bad. Especially if you've got young children that are very impressionable sitting near you, because it turned into a food fight. That's what that sardonic reply from the waiter got once upon a time in a land far, far away, when someone I know, the Jew, asked, "What's in the meatball?" And he said, "Meat." Man, did he have a mess to pick up. I will think about that story tomorrow, but I probably won't find a way to ingest any, because either you make them or you got them in store. You know, you either got a bag in the freezer or you got time. Excuse me. Or you got time to make the balls of meat. And I have no reason tomorrow to make some balls of meat. I tell you what, if you're really fortunate, and you got a good cook, it's not balls. It's not multiples. It's not plural. It's a ball of meat. It's solo singular. Uno. You get that one ball in the center. We're going to be talking about your favorite pastas today. If you didn't get your answers in already, I think you both did. If you didn't get your answers in already, get those answers in now on the Luns B Show page, because we'll be talking about that just a little later in the evening or afternoon or the morning. I have no idea. I'm going to go back. Oh, yeah. I don't care how you do it. Celebrate the best way you know how. Monday, March the 9th. National Meatball Day. Tuesday, March the 10th, is National Ranch Dressing Day. I didn't get an answer. Was hoping to get an answer. National Ranch Dressing Day. And I said, I'm going to choose this one because it gives me an opportunity to talk about something. So for the most part, I eat salads. That's pretty much what I eat. And I know I should use non-creamy colored dressings for such salads, but it's working for me because all of my shirts are getting bouncier. There's a lot more room in them for me to move around in, whereas I used to stretch the fabric. I'm not stretching fabric anymore, so I eat salads all the time. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you for thinking of my shirt. So I eat salads all the time. And what do I put on a salad? I put a little Hidden Valley Ranch. Lennon Free, very funny comedian, has a great joke about Hidden Valley Ranch. I'm not going to tell you here. You want to see him, you got to go catch him live. But you put the Hidden Valley Ranch on, and it's good. But it's not real good, you know? And what are you dealing with? You're dealing with some sticks, as my wife likes to call them, some twigs, because I like some arugulas. I like the salads that got things in them other than icebergs. So I eat the salads with the twigs I put a little ranch on top of it, and it's good. But honestly, ranch dressing, like blue cheese dressing, is a coolant. You should be using it to cool your palate after you excite your palate with hot sauce. And as of late, Uncle Maynard's apricot habanero has been one of my favorites. I just splash that on there, and I squirt some of the Hidden Valley Ranch dressing on top of my salad, and I excite all of my taste buds, and my shirts they keep getting loose. that's I was just thinking about this today. Who imagine all the people who when I donate all of my Ferrari shirts, because they really just they're starting to get way too big on me. If I donate all of my Ferrari shirts, you're going to see them walking around town. You're going to see a whole bunch of Ferrari fans in central Pennsylvania all of a sudden. And then me. Anyway, find your way to celebrate National Ranch Dressing Day on Tuesday, March the 10th. Wednesday, March 11th, is National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day. Look, I don't know nothing about the funeral director business. I just know it's a scam, okay? It doesn't cost that much money to put a hole in the ground and to intern someone in said hole. It doesn't cost that much money to put them in a big old oven and push the button and then scrape out the remains. It doesn't cost that much money. I know funeral directors are scam artists who take advantage of people at their weakest times. But on the 11th of March, I guess we should recognize them. And as far as morticians go, they're not good people either. Would you be if your job was dealing with dead bodies all day long? It's like a OBGYN. You know, once you're in the business, it kind of takes away all of the joy that you would normally see in like human beings because you're in the mortician business. Or other things because you're an OBGYN. I'm just saying, the only thing I ever liked about funeral directors was the HBO television series 6 Feet Under. 6 Feet Under. I also enjoyed the Ghetto's Boy song of 6 Feet Deep. 6 feet. I'm 6 feet. Things that are 6 feet for 500. Or however they play the pyramid game. Yeah, I don't see any of you knowing any morticians or funeral directors. You probably don't. Or maybe you do. I have a friend. He's in the animal disposal business. Is he technically a funeral director or a mortician? Or is he just the guy who pushes the button and scrapes up the ashes, puts them in a bag? And then they put them inside a very fancy vessel of your choosing. If you do know a funeral director or a mortician, celebrate them on March 11th, National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day. Thursday, March the 12th, is National Alfred Hitchcock Day. And I want you to know, in my head, the whole time I was saying that, it was dun 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 dun. The Alfred Hitchcock television show was the theme song was in my head while I was introducing Thursday, March the 12th, National Alfred Hitchcock Day. And the reason I wanted to make sure the kids were watching is because he's no longer watching. Well, maybe they can watch it later when I speak specifically to Patrick and Cooper and Kat, right? Hey, guys. Hi, how are you? Tell your dad you want to start watching some classic Alfred Hitchcock things. He did a bunch of things. He did this one thing where he was a fat silhouette and he would turn. Hello, I'm Alfred Hitchcock. No, he was a great director. He did some amazing suspenseful things, and And I enjoyed watching the Alfred Hitchcock show, and it's classic good television that they may never see because it's not showing up at Nick at Night. Okay, it's not showing up on Tubi. It's not showing up on Tubi. It's going to show up because Dad went out and found it and said, "Hey kids, here's an Alfred Hitchcock thing I think you might enjoy." Do the same thing. I don't want to ruin Rod Serling Day, which I'm sure is in the future, but do the same thing with the Twilight Zone. Huh? But I think you could find old Twilight Zone episodes on MeTV. There's a way to find everything if you look. If you Google it, if you're a fan of the Googles, you can find stuff. Anyway, find a way to celebrate. Maybe all of us should do it. Get together. Well, I'll get together at the Midtown Theater in Harrisburg and watch some Alfred Hitchcock classics on Thursday, March the 12th. National Alfred Hitchcock Day. Friday the 13th of March. Friday the 13th of March. It's National Canine Veterans Day. I chose this as a reminder to all of the handlers that I know. It ain't your day, okay? Canine Veterans Day is for those canine veterans, not the people that pick up the poop of the canines. We're talking about the real heroes here, okay? We're talking about the dogs themselves. K-9 is the alphanumeric way, but it's C-A-N-I-N-E. Or the military nomenclature is a MWD, a military working dog. The dog, the canine, not the handler. I'm talking specifically to you, and you know who you are. I know so many of you. It could be any of you. But right now, it's just you who needs a reminder that on National Canine Veterans Day, you don't get the free Denny's, okay? You don't get to go into Cracker Barrel and be treated like a king on Friday the 13th of March, because that's the canine, that's the dog's day. Granted, they probably can't get around without you, and they would need. It's okay if you're there to assist the dog. But make no mistake about it, any praise being heaped upon you on that particular day belongs to the puppy. And you need to make sure that anytime, oh, thank you for your service. Whoa, not my day. It's Max's day. Rex is like the most popular MWD name. It's Rex's day. Diablo, I knew a Diablo once. A lot of Nicks with poor spelling, like an N-N-I-C-K. Yeah, that was a special program where we decided to differentiate those dogs by putting double letters in front of them. But the first one was always silent. Or whoever was naming the dogs back then had a stuttering problem. What's that dog's name? Nick. Find a way to celebrate, or if you see a canine veteran on Friday, March the 13th, make sure to acknowledge their service, but not the handler. Okay? Saturday. Yes. Saturday, 3-1-4. If you haven't figured it out, Saturday the 14th of March is National Pi Day. Pi is a numerical equation used to differentiate the circumference of a circle. That's what pi is. But we couldn't actually figure it out, so it's a number that math geeks like to impress upon you how smart they are. I can recite pi to the 100th decimal point away from the 3, and they think that makes them look smart, but it doesn't, because as long as you get like the first 6 right, you can say pretty much anything after that, no one's checking your work, right? 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, zebra, elephant, piccolo, 2, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 2, 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, 8, 8, 2, 8, 2, 2, 8, 8, 2. You could just keep doing that. Oh, actually, I don't think you should ever say 0. You can throw in some random animals, but the moment you say 0, you're like, oh, that's where it stops. And geeks have been trying for so long to solve pi that they have computers, what they now call data centers, just running this problem to find out where it ends. Just accept the fact that it's an infinite number. We used to have a symbol for that, like, how do you divide 3 into 10? And it's 3.33 and a line over the top. Because we're tired of drawing the number 3, and the 3 goes on and on and on and on. I guess it has to go on and on and on and on. Anyway, pi is a fun one for me to remember up until like the 11th digit, because on March the 14th of 2015, at 9:26 in the 35 in the morning, we set off on a pi run. We got it. I just looked at my medal. As a matter of fact, I just looked at my pi medal. I saw it. I was like, I should wear a medal today. I didn't even think about this. I'm going to wear the medal for the taping of the Lunsby show later. You won't understand because you won't see it. She'll ask me, why are you wearing that medal? Because Pi Day is right around the corner. Again, just learn the first couple of digits. 3, 1, 4. You're already there. And then remember, T-Bone, he went on a run in 2015 that started at 9:26 in the morning, 9:26 and 35 seconds. Once you get those, then just start saying numbers. No one's going to check your work. And they're going to think you're really smart until you start doing music lyrics or popular radio TV shows on 1-800-882-2882, very popular radio show, 777-9311. That could have been a good one too, but 777, I think that they have to be different and no zeros, but do throw in a llama every once in a while, just to see if anybody's paying attention. And if they question you on llama, you're like, yeah, that's a 1 next to a 7. That's a llama. Just make it up. No one cares. No one cares. But it is a good excuse to eat pie. On Saturday, March the 14th, National Pie Day. Sunday, March 15th, the Ides. Isn't that the Ides of March? Yes, now it makes even more sense. Sunday, March 15th is National Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. I don't know how I was going to tie that into the Ides of March. I think it's wrong when your friend stabs you, but also I think it's wrong to be a dictator. So 6 of one half, half dozen of the other, as the crazy old Southern people would say. You got 6 of one half or half dozen of the other. It's the same thing. I don't know why that came up. Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. Wow. Where do we go with this? Is this conspiracy theory day? Like, we didn't land on the moon. They told us we landed on the moon. We didn't land on the moon, and the moon is made of cheese. And is that, you think landing on the moon is wrong? Or what if we took Sunday, March the 15th, and we found a way to make up something that's wrong, that we know is not true? I listened to the Joy podcast with comedian, presenter, broadcaster, actor extraordinaire Craig Ferguson. And Craig Ferguson recently did the same thing, but on a completely separate subject. He believes that Kennedy's been eaten by a shark. One of those Kennedys, and I know it's not a good Scottish accent, but you know what? He didn't have a good American accent either. He actually does. Why am I talking crap about Craig Ferguson? I love the guy. I'm going to be a guest on his show. I'm not going to be a guest on his show, but he did say if you want to be a guest, you should write. I write. Hello, Craigie. It's so stupid. This is not my audition tape. Anyway, He thought that one of the famous Kennedys had been eaten by a shark. He was sure of it. And then he got on the Google box and found out he was wrong. And now, to prove his wife right, he wants to encourage people to spread the rumor that a Kennedy was eaten by a shark. And, you know, Everything You Think Is Wrong Day, March the 15th, could be an excellent opportunity for you to help make Craig's dream come true, right? There are a lot of Make-A-Wish foundations out there, but rich celebrity comedians wanting to make something up can only be done. Please start playing Sarah McLachlan in the background. These rich, powerful comedians can only make a difference if you help them make things up. I don't know what to do with it. I had 4 choices to choose from. I thought I could do something with Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. And maybe it was this. Find your way to celebrate Sunday, March 15th. Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. National Everything You Think Is Wrong Day.